What's the dumbest thing you've ever done because your brain was on autopilot? Started a new job, got to my old workplace before I realized what I'd done. I printed out an essay and then threw it right into the trash. Couple times a year I'll say, "love you," to a business colleague when ending a phone call. My wife gets a kick out of that. When I was a truck driver, I drove 200 miles down the wrong freeway and had to turn around and drive 200 miles back. I never told my dispatcher and he never caught it. Shaved off an eyebrow, was shaving my chin etc., and my eyebrow got itchy, so I scratched it with the razor. Reddit. My first ever Reddit gold and silver thank strangers. Of course it was a post about my own stupidity. Thanks to all who commented and upvoted, made my day. Locked my vehicle and tossed the keys inside before shutting the door. I dumped my soda into my food at a restaurant. I started clapping for myself after my speech in front of an audience because the audience started clapping. Lol. Once I was sick and not thinking too well. A package delivery person rang the doorbell. Me, not thinking, got up from the couch, walked up to the door, and knocked on it. Then I opened the door to a mildly confused delivery man and took the package. It wasn't until I had closed the door, box in hand, that I realized my error. I drove to work one morning, promptly forgot, and then took the bus home, leaving my car in the parking lot. Came home with a friend. Started undressing as soon as I closed the door. Just recently I was talking to my friend and got on a topic about something that I had been looking up on my phone. Started to search for my phone so I could send him the link. I couldn't find it anywhere. I was talking to him while walking from room to room, looking everywhere, checking my pants pockets, looking in the weird random places I've left it before. Eventually I told him I'd send it to him when I found my phone. He reminded me that I was talking to him on my phone. I normally only see my neighbor when I arrive home from walking my dogs, so I'm holding the dogs on leashes as I greet the old guy next door most times and have to tell the dogs to come along. One day I dropped the dogs off inside my place and headed out to bring the bins in after collection. See the neighbor and exchange greetings as per usual. As we finish, I turn to the bin and say, "Come on, let's go." Recently I was trying to microwave some popcorn, and instead of putting the popcorn packet in the microwave, I put in the plastic wrap and proceeded to press start. I did not realize what I had done wrong until I looked down at the popcorn packet and thought, something's not right here. Two and two got put together before anything nasty or disastrous happened. Thankfully, my nephew has one of those big iPads and takes notes with a stylus. If you tap the stylus, it undoes the last writing. Now when he makes a mistake in pencil, he taps the pencil. Not me, but my husband called me from work BC. He forgot to put a shirt on before leaving, and could I bring him one, please? There he was, just wearing a jacket. Evidently he tossed it in to go start the car in the cold and never took it off. Ada. Runner-up goes to the time my daughter went to school and forgot to put on underwear in 2nd grade. Yeah, of course she was wearing a skirt. We lived 30 minutes from school and she realized it just as we pulled into the parking lot, and I marched her into the nurse, who grabbed out an emergency stash of granny briefs labeled with the school's name on them in big black Sharpie. She's 18 now and still mortified when we bring it up. Drove towards my job when my friend asked me to hang out. Tried opening my front door with my car key unlock button. I used nail polish remover instead of mouthwash after brushing my teeth. It was awful. Scanned a customer's groceries. Removed the dividing bar from my register. Began scanning the next customer's groceries. Used my phone flashlight to find my phone. Edit. Thank you for the gold, kind stranger. Now to figure out what to spend it on. I got up and took my 3 nighttime meds. 2 sleeping pills and a rather sedating neuromed, instead of my morning meds. I had an instant where I thought maybe I could go to work. Quote, But then wisdom prevailed and I called in sick. I had made a tea with ginger chunks but found the ginger to be too strong and I wanted them to go. So I grabbed a strainer and proceeded to pour out my tea in the sink with the ginger chunks in the strainer. Took me a second to realize what I've done. I wanted to refill my cup with more water, so I just poured my already half-filled cup out on the table to make room for more water. Put my glasses in the refrigerator. I figured it out when I realized the orange juice was on my bathroom counter. I met my district manager for the first time and was very nervous about it. His name is Craig. My name is not Craig. He introduced himself as Craig and I said, "Hello Craig, I am also Craig." I was wearing my name tag at the time as well. Tried to zoom in while reading a book, or just tabbing on the page to keep it from locking. I was playing a very intense video game match and during the break period my mom opened my door and since the door was behind me I was just gonna turn around and ask her what she needed. He turned me character in the game around a full 180 and had no idea why I couldn't see my monsieur. I literally mixed up my in-game movement for real life movement. Early morning on my way to work. Turned into my high school and parked in the student parking lot and started to get out of the car. I was 32. Blew on my ice cream to cool it down. Got home from work after a long, difficult shift at work. Usual routine was shoes off at the door. Go pee. Throw socks into the laundry hamper. Wash hands. Get started on making dinner. Had a brain fart that day after work. Managed to get my shoes off at the door, took my socks off and threw them in the toilet. Washed my hands. Started making dinner. I didn't realize what I'd done until I was halfway through eating and suddenly felt like my bladder was gonna explode. Found my socks in the toilet bowl and felt like the world's biggest idiot. I went up the barista at Starbucks and said, "Pack of Marlboro Lights." After a fight with a family member, I was so angry that I walked away blindly and missed the large doorway, ramming full speed into the wall. Luckily, they found it so funny that it diffused the argument. Went to the washroom at work. Was using the urinal when I suddenly realized that I don't normally see myself in the mirror while peeing. Suddenly realized I was pissing in the sink. At the end of work, changed out of my work clothes, put them in the laundry and proceeded to put on my next pair of work clothes. My regular clothes were right in front of me the whole time. You guys ever drink from a straw, then zone out and tilt it like you're drinking straight from the cup, and put whatever you're drinking all over yourself? Put the coffee where the water should go. Then put water in the pot itself and turn the machine on. Pro tip: you can't really smell burnt coffee. Another time I woke up staring at my front door from the outside, in my boxers, at 7 in the morning, without the key. Still don't have a clear picture on what happened, and how. I was living alone as well. Can't blame but my own stupidity for this one. Saying Merry Christmas when my sister sneezed. It was February. I walked outside and saw a dove. I proceed to go, "Hi cat." I enter my vehicle thinking about how stupid that was and arrive at my so's house. She enters the vehicle and my mouth moves before my brain does and out comes, "Hi cat." Squirted Gorilla Glue up my nose thinking it was nasal spray. Middle of the night. It was dark. The bottles are the same shape and size and #X200B. It was not pleasant. No, not pleasant at all. Threw my snack in the river when I was skipping stones, trying to put the house phone in the refrigerator after hanging up. When I arrived for my exams, I unzipped my coat to see that I still have my night clothes on. Edit. If it adds to the explanation, I didn't get enough sleep before the day of the exam and I was fasting. Edit again. Fasting was mentioned to avoid suggestions of staying awake for the morning. It just created more questions instead. I dropped a spoon, then apologized to the spoon for dropping it. I used to work a 6 a.m. shift. I am not a morning person. Spent 3 years at that job and never became one. But 2 times stand out to me. One time my alarm goes off. I roll out of bed, get dressed, ready for work. It's winter so it's pitch black out still. Get out to the car, turn it on. Notice the stereo says 3-something am. It hadn't been my alarm. My phone wasn't on silent for once and it had gotten a wrong number call. The other time, I am driving to work, absent-mindedly pat my pocket and don't feel anything. Panic and realize I'd forgotten my keys. So I hang a U-turn, pull back into the apartment parking lot, turn off the car, get back to my front door, and as I am about to unlock my front door, I realize the reason my keys weren't in my pocket was because I was driving and they were in the ignition.